Hi, I'm Will Sayer from MovieWeb. It's great to be chatting with you, Kat. How are you?
You too. How you doing, Will?
I'm good, thanks. Congrats on Duplicity. I thought it was great. I was curious, you play this great attorney character. Did you spend a lot of time leading up to or
Bernie?
that and spending any time with attorneys? I remember Tyler Perry played one in Gone Girl. I was curious
Right.
what sort of research you did or, spending time with anyone, stuff like that. Or maybe
So
not.
no. Listen, I definitely spend more time. This is going to come out completely terrible, so just, I'll clean it up after I say it, but I spend more time with attorneys than I do with other actors, or people that are either like diplomats or I do spend a lot of time with them. My late mother, she was a paralegal secretary for the longest time. My father was an attorney. My most of the side of my father's side are all diplomats from Liberia.
Oh, cool.
I spent a lot of my time with, she started off as a foreign affairs advisor. Now she's like my advisor and she does all this stuff. So she's basically a diplomat and she does all my work with me for the UN. And we're constantly, working with humanitarians and diplomats. So, um, my cousin, Alfonso David, is a huge civil rights attorney. So I'm surrounded
Yeah.
since I was a little girl with attorneys.
Yeah.
And I've actually been told by my therapist during during a session that it's not, she used the word um that I behave like a lawyer when I'm trying to get my point across. She used the word. I if I was lawyering more, I would know the word, but it's
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not up to date. It's
I'm no help here, but
yeah, I just, I'm just very much that kind of person. I believe right is might, and I will not let something go um if I think that it's wrong. And it made the Duplicity project perfect. It's just, there's so many different ways to play a lawyer. There's the Ally McBeals, and there's the Olivia Popes, and there's all of these like different characters throughout history and their own versions of it. But I think the root of it is, you get up there and you tell the truth and you let people decide what's the right way to move forward and you fight for what you believe in. Although I haven't really seen lawyers do that many stunts, so I'm just saying maybe I'm like that, that,
yeah.
that, that
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, of course. And behind the scenes, I know you're a wonderful singer as well. And I know you're going to play the great Diana Ross in the Michael Jackson biopic. I was curious if there's anything you can share about that, if you sang any
When
specific
people are
stuff.
asking me about it so early on, I
Okay.
feel like I'm just gonna start bullshitting you guys and just start lying and just start making up stuff. Yes, I sang this song, I sang that song, I wore this outfit, I did that. And I'm just gonna start pulling some shit out of my ass because I really can't believe I'm getting asked about this so early on. And I'm not trustworthy. I will make some shit up and you will print it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd never
And then
know.
you'll watch the movie and be like, she never fucking did this. So I will not do that, but you'll have to wait and see. There's definitely some really good music in the movie and some really, really great moments. I was really impressed with Jafar and what he was able to capture. And Antoine Fuqua.
Of
They did.
course. Yeah, I think everyone's just really excited. So,
Me too. No
Yeah.
one's more excited than me.
Right. Of course. But in the meantime, I mean, Duplicity, I spoke to Tyler Perry last year for another project, which was also wonderful. And I was curious what it was like for you collaborating with him, if you watched all of his stuff for his leading up to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably hear actors who are asked about their directors and they do that kind of Hollywood thing where they're like, oh yeah, like I love I was a big fan. But like the difference with me is that I have been like a super fan of
Mhm.
Tyler Perry
Yeah.
for over 10 years. I would save my money and I would buy his plays on DVD and I would read every interview he did. He was the reason I chose to stay in Atlanta when I booked the Vampire Diaries, just for the opportunity that maybe one day I would work with him. That that show started 16 years ago. He was somebody who was like a North Star for me because, a lot of people, and I love Halle Berry and I love all of these, like Tandy Newton and all of these incredible, beautiful actresses. And I'm a fan of theirs, but I was never like a super fan the same way I was about these incredible producers like the Oprah Winfreys and the Quincy Jones and the Tyler Perrys and the Pharrells and all of these incredible creators. And so he was that and is that for me. So he's always been like a totem of somebody that I would watch and be like, okay, he created this and he can also be really, really funny. But he's also really, bringing these stories to life of these women and multi-dimensional Black women, and no one was really doing that. And still going back and having variety and comedy and then shows and then building his studios. And I would be watching him as a fan for so long that it's just working with him was at some point surreal, like I don't know if you have somebody who you've idolized for,
Oh yeah.
that. Yeah. So like, tell me who that is for you.
Oh, well, I mean, there are a number. I mean, I remember, I mean, I'm a huge, probably not on your level, but Tyler Perry, I mean, I was at the premiere of his documentary. So, I mean, it was a, it was a treat to speak with him last year. So, I mean, working
Yeah,
with
I
him, I
watched
can't
that
even imagine.
documentary. I mean, it
Yeah.
was so great. If anyone hasn't seen it, you need to watch this. I was like laughing and weeping, and he's literally the king of resilience and has really inspired me when I was going through some pretty tough times. Um, with, I mean, just making something out of nothing, and making greatness and then giving greatness and being somebody who's devoted to the culture. It's hard for me to even, I feel like I'm pretty eloquent with anything else anyone asks me. You ask me about the movie, I'm eloquent. You ask me about my humanitarian work, I'm eloquent. You ask me about music and anyone else, I'm eloquent. When it comes to Tyler Perry, there's something about him where I just kind of like just barf words, and I hope they come together because I really do think that he is literally one of my idols. And he only solidified that when he just solidified that more when I worked with him. I got a chance to really watch him and see how he works and see how he treats people and see how awesome he is and how lovely he is and how funny he is and how focused he is. And seeing that in person, I was like, fuck, I was right. I was right to have followed this man for 15, 16 years and watch his journey. I was right to have spent the hours and all the money and all the energy. And like, I literally had him on my vision board. He's still on there, and I've worked with him now. He's literally on there to this day. There's only two people on there, him and someone else. I don't want to name because I don't want to jinx it, but just them two. And that's it. So, it's a different thing. Honestly, it's literally God, because I don't think anyone else could have made this happen, because I never thought it would happen. I was just like, I'm not on his radar, and there's way more popular Black girls than me that he'd probably want to work with. And, I kind of just dismissed myself when it came to him because it'd been 16 years and I hadn't had a chance to work with him, and I was in Atlanta and, you know, but I just been loving him from afar. So he's my favorite thing to talk about on this press tour. I think that's why I just said yes to every single person that wanted to talk to me, because I was like, at one point they're going to ask me about
Yeah.
him.
Of course. Well, yeah, I'm so glad it worked out. I mean, I can't wait for everyone else to see this. So, congratulations again.
So much. Thank you.